Members of a new Act 46 Merger Study Committee gathered at the Medowee Community School in West Paulet on Tuesday, April 11th, to start a discussion about a new school district consolidation package. 3 school districts are involved, the Paulet and Rupert school districts, plus the Union District number 47, which operates the Medowee School and where the 2 communities' pre-kindergarten through 6th grade students attend. Their task in this round of merger studies is to consolidate into one school district, BRSU Superintendent Jackie Wilson told the board members at the meeting. The Merger Study Committee is made up of representatives from the Paulet and Rupert school districts. Before the meeting, Superintendent Wilson described their situation.
Right. So the first step for Rupert and Paulet, so currently they are 3 separate districts. They are a Rupert district and a Paulet district that operate education 7 to 12, in which they designate and tuition students to New York State schools. And then there's also the K-6, the UD 47 district. There's a union district for those communities for elementary pre-K to 6 education. So again, those are 3 separate districts. We have to consolidate to the least practicable number. So that's the first step for those districts. So the Paulet and Rupert districts will come together and attempt to form a new union pre-K to 12 district that will operate a school pre-K to 6 and then designate or have some type of tuition option 7 to 12. So that's the first step for them. So they're still too small to stand alone, but there's not any partners they have near them that they could join with to get to that magic 900 number. So we fully anticipate, because of where we are in the state and the multiple different enrollment options we have, that the BRSU would still remain a supervisory union, and that the newly formed Medowee district would be a part of, they would be a district within the new supervisory union.
Their middle and high school age students have in the past mostly attended schools in Salem and Granville, New York, but an increasing number have been going to Vermont schools, which has prompted a debate over whether to retain the designation status for the New York schools or opt for full-blown school choice. The catch is that the tuition rate to the New York schools is substantially less than what it would cost the 2 communities if wide-ranging school choice were available. Tuition to Salem, where Rupert designates for its middle and high school students, costs $5,700 per student. In Granville, which Paulet has designated, the cost is $8,800 per student. But if full-blown school choice were allowed, the tuition rate for Vermont public schools would apply, and currently the state union tuition average is $14,800, much higher than the cost for the New York schools. Currently, parents in Rupert and Paulet who want to send their 7th and 12th grade students on to Vermont schools have to make up the difference. Changing that could put upward pressure on the tax rates in both communities. Last November, a non-binding referendum asking voters if they wanted to change from the current system of designating the New York schools was defeated decisively in both towns. That vote followed the collapse, last September, of an earlier Act 46 merger study with the neighboring town of Wells. Defenders of the system of designation note that the lower cost of the New York schools, where many of the longtime residents of the 2 towns have attended, has saved a lot of money that would have had to have come from local taxpayers. Rupert currently has one of the lowest education tax rates in the state at $1.22, and Paulet's is not far behind at $1.40. The Vermont state average is about $1.53. The contentious discussion last fall divided members of the 2 communities, pitting those who valued the low tax rates against others who felt that school choice was desirable for a range of educational and economic reasons. Last week, the new Merger Study Committee elected Susan Hosley as its chairwoman and voted to engage former BRSU Superintendent Dan French as a consultant as they restart the process. One of the points of contention during the previous merger study with Wells was about the accuracy of the data and the information that was being provided to the Merger Study Committee back then. Susan Hosley, the newly elected chairwoman, noted this after the meeting on April 11th.
And/or challenge as we go forward with this Act 46 process is making sure that we get clear and accurate information and that we come to a resolution that works well for all of the members of these communities.
The 9-member committee also discussed ground rules and a timeline before adjourning. They will need to arrive at a plan by November 30th. For the GNAT TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.